Hello, I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. Although, I should call myself Paul Harvey, because I seem to come back with the rest of the story. Well, here's another one for you that has to do with, so much of what I talk about on my channel. This right here proves it. It undeniably proves so much of what I talk about on my channel. Not having the funding to give our resources that are supposed to be helping people. And this is why all the bad is happening. We can make godzillionaires out of people who entertain us and play games and sports for a living. That's worth godzillions of dollars. All the money we have, right? But we can't take care of the things that actually are important in our country. This is making me absolutely sick. And then we want to sit back and continue wondering, why does all of it happen? We can't figure it out. Oh my God. I'm tired of living in a delusional country. A country full of nothing but fucking children who just want to play like kids and don't want to step up and be adults anymore and face the real world. Let's change words because we're so strong that words hurt us. I'm sick of it. This right here, this case right here shows it. So this has to do with the man who went into the Walmart and stabbed 11 people in Traverse City. I live in northern Michigan. I know a lot of people here. It's a small communities and word gets around, and so do people, especially people who go out in the world and let themselves be known. How's that so? So this is a message that went around from somebody who went to school with that guy. I received this from somebody else who went to school with this person and with that guy and knew both of them. These are very respectable people in our community. This right here, I'm going to get my ugly mug off the screen here so that you can see the full texting. But this is the message she put out. She's shocked to see what happened and that she knew the guy, went to school with him. You can read all of it on the screen here. I'll try to read what I can the best I can. For anybody who's been following along, I struggle with my vision. But they went to school with him and gave a little bit of his history. And it talks about how back in the 90s, you were allowed to leave class and go out for open lunch. When I went to school, I've talked about it. I just came and went as I pleased, and didn't nobody stop me. Didn't nobody help me while I'm out smoking weed and cigarettes and getting drunk in the middle of a school day. Coming back, everybody knew it. Didn't nobody ever step up to me and say, Jason, you need some help? They all knew I needed help, but don't nobody give a damn about people who actually are in need. That's why this keeps happening. Talked about maybe my stepson wouldn't be dead if the school did their job. They knew that there were problems. He showed it. But they didn't care to step up and do nothing about it. Only want to protect themselves. Can't get involved. Might interfere with my life, even though you've got the title and the paycheck to do it, right? And the ideology that you're supposed to. So they used to go out and smoke weed and do drugs, smoke cigarettes. I didn't know somebody who could actually, and I don't know what all entails being allergic to marijuana. I'm sure people can be allergic to everything, especially nowadays when we've changed the human body. We've changed everything that we consume, and everything's full of poison and toxin anymore. But they went out. He went out and got in a car with two of his friends, and they clam baked him, which made him have no ability to control himself, according to what she is saying. He was so messed up he couldn't figure out how to get himself out of the car. None of us knew at that time what was going on until days later that the kid was missing, never came home, never showed up back at school. The other kids showed up, but he didn't. So then they all knew who he was with and what was going on to an extent. And then after the investigation has to start taking place, people step up and say, oh yeah, we did this. The drugs had already messed him up so bad, and I've talked about this on my channel, why meth is death. I actually wanted to try it because I can't help people And I can't have an understanding myself unless I try it. I don't want to do it because I want to get high. I wanted to try it because I can't help people without the understanding of what it actually takes. What are the circumstances? What does it do to you? Unfortunately, it does different things to different people, but at least with an understanding, I could help people better. I am sure as hell glad now that I didn't do it, knowing what I know now. I put myself out there on the line for people to do those things because that's the only way we really get help. Somebody who has never, ever, somebody who lives in high society and has never experienced devastation can't read from a book what devastation actually means to a life, to a family, to a community until they experience it themselves. Same things with drugs. You don't know what it's like to be a drug addict. How are you going to help one? Because a book taught you how to do it? There is no book to it. We can learn. A book is just a tool. We can learn things about it, but it doesn't actually make the difference. We make the difference. And you can't make a difference without full understanding. It just does not work. So he had brain damage from the drugs. He was barely alive and had brain damage from the drugs that he did. This was back in high school. How much worse can this get? Let's see. And of course, these things, I've had problems. I tried using a different app to do this today because I found another app that actually gives me a clearer picture, more resolution, and a better, except for it doesn't want to work today. Again, these electronics, I don't want to know. I can't know if I'm being targeted because everything, look at my video about, hey, show me a picture of all white men. No, we'll give you all black men instead. Thanks, Grok. Working great for me. Does it work like that for everybody else? Do you put in, give me a picture of an airplane and instead you get a picture of a turtle? I mean, does it work like that for everybody, or is it just me and other people who are being targeted and tried to push over the edge and not allowed to succeed in life? Is that what it is? I can't say for sure until I communicate with the world and find out what's going on with everybody else in the world. Is everybody else having these same problems? Or am I being targeted repeatedly through every app I use, through everything I try to do, even make a phone call? Okay, back to the story. This stuff's driving me nuts, especially when these people are godzillionaires giving us garbage to play with, like a bunch of little doggy children chasing our tails. Smell this shit, right? So he had forever brain damage from the drugs that he did. I'm telling you, people, don't go out and try them. I've learned my lesson. Unfortunately, I haven't fried my brain to the point where I'm beyond reality, but I could have. This person even told their don't do it. So back in the day, there used to be mental institutes to help these people, but we don't have money for that because it's more important to pay a football star $5 million a year, but we don't actually care about spending money on taking care of victims and people and the problems we have. And we wonder why the problems continue and just keep getting worse and now spiraling out of control because we don't take care of our people. Let's bring in more, though. Let's double our population, give us more people who need even more help than our own people do. But yet, we can't even help our own people, so let's make a mess out of it all, right? Is that really what... I'm tired of this delusional ignorance. So back in the day, there were several mental institutes, and they closed all of them. And what happened to all the mental patients? This isn't just in Traverse City or in northern Michigan. This happened in Toledo, too. They closed down the mental institutes that were in Toledo. They've closed them down throughout the country from what I've been hearing more and more of. We don't have money for taking care of mentally ill people who are out killing people. We don't have money for that. But we do have money to keep paying entertainers millions of dollars a year individually. We have the money for that, right? So we can be entertained like kids. CEOs can make tens of millions of dollars a year. I'd like to follow them around and find out what they actually do for that money. The only people who get paid outrageous sums of money are corrupt people like mafia, hitmen, people like that who need to cover their butt because what they're doing is illegal and corrupt. Those are the people who need to make that kind of money. Just look at the Democrat Party. I always wondered, how could they need more and more? Watching Nancy Pelosi taking more and more, even in her 80s, and still committing scandals to get more money when she already has more than I'd ever know how to spend. And my lifespan will hopefully be longer than hers because I'm not 80 years old. It's so that they can pay off their crimes. So there used to be a whole bunch of mental institutes that all got closed down, and he was in it, and they just turned him loose on the streets. We know you're a problem. We know you're mentally ill. Money's all that matters. Talks about the last time that this person had seen him, and he was so mentally distraught, so his brain is so gone that he didn't even recognize the person or was able to carry on a conversation. He was in another group home who, again, they closed their doors. We don't care about the mentally ill, but we want to sit here and complain and cry about all the crime, all the abuse, neglect, murders. We want to complain about all that stuff, but are we really, is this the zombie apocalypse? Are we really so brain dead that we don't know how to fix these problems? Because it really is absolutely simple. You don't turn the people loose, for one. For two, we need funding and money. Why are we paying and give a damn about a football player who wants to go on strike because $5 million a year is not enough? Now let's make it 10, let's make it 20. It's never enough for corrupt people. Well, yeah, let's put the WNBA on strike because they already make a higher pay than so many Americans to sit and play a game and act like a bunch of ignorant children. It talks about, you can read this on your screen. I can't read all this. All I can do is pick out words and try to go off of my memory from what was read to me. But also talks about how they were living in a group home. And none of the stuff ever wants to line back up. And had been living in there for a long time. But then they turned them loose because we can't fund these organizations anymore. Got plenty of money for entertainment. Please us like a bunch of kids. Who wants to stand up and be an adult and take care of the problems in this country anymore? It's all about selfishness, self-gain, ideology. Look at the car I drive. I'm a good person. I've got a title and a paycheck. But what do you do to earn that title and paycheck? These people who were supposed to be in control of this whole system for the mentally ill, obviously their paycheck did not match their title, or their actions didn't match their title and their paycheck. How about that? It talks about it was a tragedy. None of this should have taken place because our systems, once again, did not do their job. And this proves right here, the system isn't broken, it's non-existent. We just took it away. Just like I talked about with the Diane Pepler Center and the Victims Abuse Center here. There's 4 of them. 2 of them are not getting any business. They're closing their doors because nobody will walk in there because they're all scared. Welcome to living in a small community. Word gets around. People get scared. But what about all the victims that are not getting help? What about when the place does close and they say, hey, look, everything's clean and clear up in the northern Michigan because nobody's getting help anymore, which means it's all good. We fixed the problem. When the actual truth, well, again, bring Paul Harvey and the rest of the story.